A disability is something that has a major impact on your life.
Every disability is different.
And it's never the same thing for two people. I am blind in my right eye totally and partially sighted in my left eye.
I was 18 years old. We were traveling way too fast on a gravel road. Broke my neck, my back.
My Asperger's syndrome and my cerebral palsy.
I have anxiety and depression. People would have no idea just talking to me.
Being independent means different things to different people.
I want to live in my own house. I want to pay my own bills.
Live independently and not rely on other people.
When someone is not able to live as independently as they can, it does have a detrimental effect on people's physical and mental well-being.
It's no complicated thing. It's just that people with disabilities want to be included.
Plenty of people get stuck in ruts when they feel like they can't overcome something in their life. That's where Lift comes in.
Living independently for today and tomorrow. Lift. We help people of all ages and all types of disabilities find the resources or acquire the skills to live as independently as possible.
We serve the southeastern 18 counties here at the Billings office. We have a variety of things that we offer. We can help with grant funding for adaptive equipment.
Maybe a home modification so they're able to access their home. We help people to find that funding.
Helping people apply for Social Security benefits.
Medicaid, Medicare, housing.
They have a peer support group. Peer support, I think, is key.
Sharing life experiences is one of the most powerful things to help people who might be new to disability, who might be struggling with their disability.
Youth transitions is kids that are transitioning out of high school. They need to learn those adulting skills. It might be rent an apartment, learn how to grocery shop, budgeting.
Help someone advocate for themselves in a school or an employment setting. One of our biggest strengths is providing folks with information and referral. If we can't help you, we hope to know who can.
A lot of times we'll have a potential consumer call in and they think that they just have one need, and it turns out that we end up finding 3 or 4 things we can actually do for them.
You can just come in and say, hey, I feel like I have this going on. Can you help me? And we can, which is so cool to me. I love that.
Most of us on staff at Lift have identified ourselves as having one or more disabilities. That is helpful in many cases.
It's easier to empathize with someone when you yourself have struggled with a disability.
This is what we specialize in. This is who we are, and this is what we do.
And it costs nothing to go to Lift. It's a nonprofit organization and they're there to help.
Somebody that was a consumer that was working with Lift was asked to do an art project. He visualized that the balloon helps to lift people up. And then it became the logo, and it's stuck.
There's been success on all kinds of levels.
It's really rewarding to have a consumer go, hey, I was able to do this by myself today.
We want people to live their best life as independent as possible.
Live as everyone else in society and live as a part of society, not apart from society.
Everybody needs help. Sometimes you just need a little more help, and that's okay. That's absolutely okay.
There's plenty of life to live still, and there's a way you can do it. Keep chipping away at it, little by little by little.
Knowledge is power. Let's share it, for crying out loud.
Send us an email, give us a call. We'll do our best to help.
We can definitely help figure out what your needs are and get started on that. We're one of many steps in the path to independence, and we're happy to be serving people here in the community.
Uh, Good day and welcome to Living Well in Montana. Living Well in Montana is a program of living independently for today and tomorrow, or as we like to call ourselves, LIFT, LIFTT. LIFT is a center for independent living, meaning that we are a source for information, advocacy, and resources that empower persons with disabilities to break down the physical, bureaucratic, and cultural barriers that prevent them from being independent participants in their lives and communities. And LIFT does this throughout an 18-county service area in southeastern and south central Montana. For more about LIFT, its programs and services, please check out our website at lift.org, and there'll be a lot more about this on today's program. Download our mobile app from the Apple or Android store by entering LIFTT in the search bar. My name is Jet Barton, and it is my privilege to be a public relations specialist here at LIFT and the host of today's edition of Living Well in Montana. For almost a year, maybe even longer now, LIFT has had, as I mentioned in my introduction, a mobile app. And if anyone is familiar with mobile apps, you're constantly being bombarded by the apps you've downloaded with requests to update them. And those updates are made by the software designers and the companies they work for in order to hopefully improve the app and the experience of the user. Well, LIFT has undertaken to do some renovations and improvements on our app. And so we're pleased to welcome back to the program for like the third or fourth time our good friend from the Amplified Digital Agency, Erica Yakowicz. And Erica,
Hi, Jen.
hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
That's good. Well, before we get started, talking about the details of the app, can you tell us a little bit about what Amplified is and what they do for LIFT and their other customers?
Sure. I work for the Amplified Digital Agency. We are a national digital agency that helps clients across the U.S. We have offices in Montana in 5 locations, including in Billings, Helena, Missoula, Butte, and Hamilton. Our legacy company, the Enterprises, owns several newspapers across the state. So we share offices with those entities, including the Billings Gazette and Billings. And I've been fortunate enough to work with LIFT over the last couple of years on several projects, but the app has been a development project that our company has really enjoyed working on because of the additional compliance and considerations of who it is that you're reaching on a day-to-day basis. So we have helped on many projects and been really good partners, and the app is one of those projects that we helped with.
Great. So LIFT, and I know some of this background too, so you know, from where I sit, one of the reasons we decided to go forward, we started this project 3-4 years ago now, 5 years ago almost now, with the idea that we needed to redo our website, that our website was a little bit clunky and a lot out of date and definitely not accessible to the level that it should be particularly for an agency that does what we do and promotes accessibility in the community. And anymore, the community includes digital spaces just as almost as much as it includes physical spaces. So just like it's important to have a ramp on a building, it's important to have an accessible website. And that sort of grew, and I believe one of your previous colleagues at Lee, I think it was still Lee then, I hadn't heard the word Amplified back then, suggested that not only do we do this website, but we do an app. Can you explain to folks what an app exactly is and why, if we've got a website, we might need an app as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. And every business or organization may have a little bit different needs of why they would need an app. But ultimately, as it came to be needed for Lyft, it was purely an accessibility consideration of making sure that it was easily accessible, knowing that there were some people, it was a barrier to get to the website. So not that it wasn't easy, it's that there were some additional steps to do that, where the
Right.
app is something that can be downloaded and then opened at convenience without having to go through some additional steps. So as part of this project of the website and the app, was identified, purely as an additional step to take to help even more people connect with Lyft in a way that's the most convenient for them. So both the website and the app were developed with that accessibility in mind, making sure that knowing the people that you're talking to on a day-to-day basis, as well as anybody who visits your website, it was vitally important that it was accessible and easy to access, no matter how people were finding you.
We were able to, with the Amplified's help, identify some tools such as Trinity Audio, and I can't remember the name of our particular version of the little blue button you click that brings up the color changes and the stuff, but we identified that product as well, and those are both available on the app and on the website. Aside from the audio and the changing of text sizes and stuff, what are some of the sort of the rules regarding, and again, we always say the ADA is the floor, not the ceiling, but there are some ADA requirements for websites, and they are starting to be, there's talk of rulemaking in the federal bureaucracy that will mean that there is actually something for them to enforce, or for the courts to enforce in civil law. So what are some of the accessibility features that an app or a website should have?
Yeah. It's a good point that you brought up, Jed, that's not only for organizations like yourself that really do work with the diverse audience that you're talking to, and those that have disabilities, but other organizations making sure that they can also have a web and digital experience that caters with people that may have sight impairments or hearing impairments, that's instituted across every website, and not just websites like yours that primarily focuses on those folks, in helping those folks. So there has been a big push recently. I'm not sure how long. I know it's been something as long as websites have been around, that there has been people pushing for websites to be accessible. But there's been a renewal recently of making sure that all websites have all the check boxes to make sure that they are being accessible. So a couple of things that that are at the top of the list. One is the readability of the website, and making sure that there is contrast when there is blue on top of a green background. That sometimes is really, really hard to read. So making sure that there's enough contrast, that the text can be zoomed in and out, that there are audio capabilities as well, that text can be read to someone who may have an impairment that keeps them from otherwise reading text. So those are some things that are becoming just standard practice on websites. And of course, there's a whole bunch of other accessibility features. You mentioned a couple that are on the mobile apps and the website. There's technology that exists out there that we're able to help our clients implement on their sites, whether or not they're focused on helping just the disabled population like your organization is, but every organization and business is thinking about that population. So those are just a couple of things. There is a good list of standard building practices and development practices that our company uses to make sure that we're building the best and most accessible websites. But those are just a couple of the primary images. There's, I guess, some behind the scenes stuff that also happens with image tagging
alternative
and
text.
alternative text. Yep, all of that information is also part of the programming of the website. That all those little things really add up to make websites more accessible.
That's great. It's a fascinating topic for some anyway, and it can go for you can go a long way down that rabbit hole. So let's talk about the Lyft app in specificity now. So we had the app, and now we've done some remodeling to it. What are the changes that are coming or have come?
Yeah, for the end user, for anybody who has already downloaded the app, there's not going to be huge monumental changes, or it's not going to look that much different, but there are some key improvements just from some learnings and some feedback from people throughout this process. We wanted to make sure that we implemented those and got things updated so that it wasn't only easier to use from people who downloaded and use the app, but also from your side, Jed, making sure that any content that you update on your website automatically flows over to the app, so that there's consistent messaging across all of the devices that you're using to reach out to your constituents. So the biggest change is there are some navigational changes. The old app, the navigation didn't exactly match the website. They were on separate platforms. And so anytime Lyft had an update to content, not every single piece of content that was updated, which could be relevant to the person that wants that information, was appearing on the app. So that has been upgraded. So now anything that gets posted to the website will flow over to the app to make sure that everybody gets all of the information all at once. There also have been some minor navigation changes where it's just a little bit easier for people to see and use. And it's a little bit more, again, it matches the website so that there's not inconsistencies with how people are finding things, or things aren't labeled differently across the app and the website. Another improvement is that the content that gets posted to the website, again, for an accessibility thing, it was many developments will happen and there's a website and that gets updated, and then there's an app that gets updated and they're separate. We wanted those to be basically the same thing, just it's deployed a little differently to the end user. So we made some improvements to make sure that there was, again, that consistency between the website and the app that was off just a little bit with the old app. There's also a couple of other things where if something was updated on the website, it would sometimes take a couple of days before that loaded onto the app, just from the delay from some of the development and the coding on the back end. It wasn't scraping for that information as frequently as we wanted. So we did improve that to actually make it near real time. So anything that gets posted onto the website now will automatically show up on the app. One of the, I think, biggest changes is that the stability of the app, not that the old app, there was, constant instability or anything like that. We have and pride ourselves on making sure that any development work that we do, it's functioning all the time. But there were a couple of instances where if we were experiencing a little glitch or something with the website, it was negatively impacting the app, where that shouldn't happen moving forward. We'll be able to update the website and the app will be reflected much more quickly. So that's more behind the scenes stuff that was tripping up the inconsistencies, but you'll see that as being improvements, which means that the app should be a little bit faster as well.
Okay. Is the updated app available now, or is there a date where it's expected to launch?
Yeah, so the new app will be launched very soon. We are currently getting that updated with the mobile app or with the app stores. So the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. Those should be launching within the next couple of weeks. Just currently waiting for them to approve that and going through that full testing phase. So there is right now on the Play Store, the Lyft app has been temporarily removed as we're going through that process of getting that updated and will be added shortly. And as a result of that, again, this is not just an update or a version update to your app. This was basically a rebuild of your app to fix those development things to just optimize the app, which will require that it's not an update to the app inside the App Store. You will basically download the new version of the app.
So everybody will, even if you have the app on your phone, you'll have to delete it and go into the App Store and type in LIFTT and download it again, correct?
Correct. Yep. And we've talked, Jed, about providing some communication on the website, letting people know that that is updated and to install the new app.
Yep, we definitely will do that. Yeah, I think. Let's see here. Yeah, it's been, yeah. Well, Erica, I think we have reached the end of our program here. Again, people need to look out for the announcements and the communications that Lyft will be sending out through our various social media and email blasts and all that fun stuff for the announcement for when you can download the new app. And again, if you see this and you have questions or concerns about the app or about any of our services or programs here at Lyft, please give us a call in Billings at 406-259-5181, or our office in Glendive is at 406-948-8500. Or you can visit us anytime from anywhere on the web at lift.org. Erica, thank you for stopping by again. And I'm sure we'll have you back on in the future when we got something else going on. This has been Living Well in Montana. Everybody have a great day. Thank you.